about the system in China when it comes to human rights and just the undemocratic system
to be able to track
independent journalism is no more.
Well, it's
online conversation
that hasn't prevented a strong turnout. And no one.
你认为中国它是一个民主的国家吗？
是的，
是的，
是一个民主的国家。民不民主，这个是由在这个地方生活的人民说了算。
中国是有在好好的听人民的意见。
China doesn't have voting as we have it. It does get the job done, though. My name is Joshua Dominic. I'm from the United States. I've been in China for 20 years, mostly working as a translator.
China has its own form of democracy, but the problem is nowadays democracy is so stereotyped. My name is Olivia Yang. I'm from China. I work around the world as a news correspondent.
If everybody can just hear one people saying, like, one nation saying, what is democracy? Hi, my name is Renato Penelope. I'm from Brazil. I live in Wuhan. It's been 11 years. Work as an executive director at KUSA, Chinese company for education.
Let's pick a question card.
Okay. For me, this one.
Thank you.
I got to read this statement. Should democracy have only one form, one standard?
What I see from my point of view as a Western, one thing I have a hard time is to understand anything beyond like US or the West as democracy, because like we are raised and taught that like democracies as we are, as like US is or as Brazil is or France is. Anything else that try to do something different, we don't accept. That's why most of them understand that China is not.
In my opinion, China is not democratic. It does get the job done, though. It benefits the people.
Well, I understand where your opinion came from. The important elements of democracy are about empowering your people and letting their voices be heard.
It guarantees people have a channel to participate in the decision-making process.
Then in China, like through People's Congress and political consultation systems composed by multi-parties, Chinese people do have these rights.
But from the American perspective, the reason that China was able to develop so quickly economically was because it was not democratic. It needed to be centralized. When you have discussion, it takes time.
Actually, in China, discussion is also a very strong tradition, from formulation of national policies to building a bridge in a small village discussion. It takes time too. I think the difference is when the decisions are made, China is very efficient to take actions like building 2 hospitals in 10 days during the pandemic.
There's a very nice movie right now, the White Tiger. The main character is a business guy in New Delhi. So he writes a letter. In this letter, he said I would exchange my vote for basic toilet in my house.
I'd like to kind of change the direction a little bit. So I think we should kind of say, what should democracy bring to the public?
Why do I see as democracy? Because I see life of people improvement. I see poverty being eliminated. Those things empower people to take part, to take voice.
You're making excuses for China. China doesn't have voting as we have it.
Recently, I was informed to elect the new deputies of my district. It's part of how our People's Congress works. But my foreign friends, they were surprised. In China, we vote for local deputies. They then represent us in People's Congress to vote for higher level officials. In Brazil, you have direct elections, and in the US, you have electoral. Just different forms. China's whole process, people's democracy, guarantees the public to participate in political issues, not only during elections, but also empowering them making decisions for the country all the time.
And I see it's hard, in our system, if you have more economical power, you can lobby more. You can make your opinion to be louder than the others. But here, the government constantly kind of research, and they try to legitimate their system based on solving these issues.
What I think of the Western democracy is that the candidates, they spend too much money on campaign. It's a kind of competition of words, but not a competition of deeds.
Now, China's form of governance, form of democracy, is not like ours. It doesn't have as much freedom of speech.
Then if people are not happy with the way they are being governed, they can talk to local congressional deputies, call hotlines for the mayor's office, or even the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection. I noted that during the pandemic, there were some public hearings in the US, like people defended their rights not wearing masks during the pandemic. For Chinese, we think that is not democratic, that is a little bit individualism.
They have 1,400,000,000 people, but the number of deaths is very low. Why? Because there's a concern with people's lives, so protect every single life. All right, so like we're going to this third part of the whole debate. I think it's getting warm, it's getting interesting, and like...
So hot.
Yeah, the sun is also making a good work. What I bring up now is like, do Chinese people have the right to choose their own style of democracy?
I think that I'm the most direct descendant of the democratic tradition. Brazil is based on the American system. China is based on the German system, basically.
You cannot be direct, like descendant of the democracy. Otherwise, democracy has an owner. If everybody can just hear one people saying, like one nation saying, what is democracy?
To tell if a country is democratic or not, it must be judged by the people from that country.
And when I see the world media, they are pointing China as like, oh, you guys gotta do what we do, otherwise you're not democracy. And then I feel like this double standard.
They're not trying to demonize China.
But at least they have to report things based on the facts. Like the BBC's reports on Xinjiang used images of CCTV, China National Television, to say that the officials were forcing the local people to work. Actually, that images that CCTV filmed is about eradication of the poverty.
Big media groups, they just represent one group of interests. What opinion is coming out is not really like the people. People itself cannot talk. We have to understand the problems and the flaws we have.
真正的民主不是像嘴上一直强调说我们是自由的，我们是民主的，而是说它像血管里的血液一样。我虽然感觉不到它的流动，但我知道它确实存在。
资本主义所谓的民主呢，就是没有束缚的一个民主。这样的民主对一个社会、对一个国家治理来说，它是不利的。中国的社会主义式的民主是更加先进的。